Who is that? Jaswal.
Yes, sir. I'm getting compilation error. I've shared you the.
See what you have done. You see the code here. What you have done. Look at the code. What you done. Send keys. What is it? Why you given username? Do you have any arguments here?
No.
Send the data in double quotation. By import the package for this by class. So you are still in the beginning of the classes, I think, huh?
Yes, sir.
It's very, very difficult. I told you to keep on practicing every day. Import the package for by class. Send keys. What is that send keys? What is that username? You want send a value. Send in double quotation that username and password. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Now, how to handle file systems? Files, especially Notepad. Basically, Notepad. It is pure again Java related concept. So files, see, when you look at the files, what we can do in files means what we can handle means we can create new file, we can write data into a file, we can read data from a file. This is what we can do, right? Operations in file like Notepad especially. We can create new file, new Notepad, and that we can write data in that Notepad. And when you want to read data from that Notepad, we can read it. Generally, here when you look at general, see that you have some files in your system that is called physical memory. And physically it is available. Files will be available physically in your system. But if you want to perform any operations or reading or writing anything you want to do, you need to create buffer memory for that. The file which you are reading or which you are writing. We need to create a buffer memory. We should allocate some memory for that physical memory file. For what purpose? For reading data or writing data. So for that, Java is providing you 5 predefined classes. File class, file reader class. File class is for what purpose we use file class means we use for creating a file. When you want to create a new file in your system, then we have to go with file class. When you want to read data from a file, then we have to go with file reader class. Buffer reader. What is the purpose of this buffer reader? You are creating one physical memory. We are creating one physical file. And to that physical file, we are allocating memory for that. So that we are using buffer reader for that. File writer. When you want to write data in a file, again physical memory will be there. And again to access data from that or to perform something in that file, we have to create a buffer memory for that. So these 5 classes are used for handling your files, especially Notepad. Excel, that is different. Especially Notepad. Some situations we may use Notepads also. Let us see practically how we use them. Okay. First, say for example, I need to ask my Selenium to create one new Notepad. And in that Notepad, I want to write some text. Okay. How? Let us see. Write data. And my class name is write data. Main method, finish of it. And here we need to create object. First object for what? Path for creating file. So for that we use file class. File control space bar. We have to import a package for the Java packages. Java packages. See that java.io input output. Okay, you must import that file. Define one object. Some variable is equal to new file. Control space bar again. And here we should define the path of the file. So where you want to create that path, you define the path. In which file you want to create, in which drive you want to create, who will create this means Selenium will create, none of your business. I want create in D drive or F drive, F colon, Selenium dot txt. Okay. And then after creating that new file, what I want to write the data, right? If I want to create a file, I can say f dot create new file. F dot create new file. This method is not mandatory. Without using that, we can create, not a problem. And next, what do you want? You want to create a physical memory. For that, what we use, which class we use here? File writer, control space bar. All these are belonging to Java. Remember that, java.io. Make sure that you're importing packages. File writer fw is equal to new file writer. Where you're writing that file, where you want to write that, you want to write into
Selenium.txt.
Where is that selenium.txt stored? Into f variable. F variable.
Yeah.
Yes or no? It's already stored into that. And we need to allocate memory, right? Physically, file will be available. We are allocating memory. Why you are allocating memory means to perform operations. Buffer memory. So for that we use buffer writer. Buffer writer. Some BW is equal to new buffer control space bar. Buffer writer. For what you are creating that memory? For what you are creating that memory? For FW. What is FW is holding? The part of that selenium.txt file. Now what do you want? You want to write some single line statement in that file, selenium.txt file, right? So BW dot, the method we use is write method. Write method. Suppose I am so lazy to practice. I want to write one line statement. And I want to write one more line. So that I want to go for new line, BW dot new line method. It will move that to new line. Otherwise, it writes in next line, meaning new line means next line. And again, I wanted one more line, BW dot write. But I want job in top MNC. Again, I want to go to new line, BW dot new line. Again, I want write like that, one by one, let BW dot write method, BW dot write method with 20K, 20L package. Okay. After writing this text, it means you want to write this text in that notepad. To push the text, what are you writing? To push the text into that file, we have to use one method called bw.flush method. Flush. It will flush the stream. It will override that into that notepad. If you don't say flush, it can't push your text into that notepad. Okay. Flush should be written. And then bw dot, I need to close that file. B.close. So I told you, whenever we use path of Excel, any path we have to give superclass throws throwable. Throws throwable. Control space bar throwable. Okay. Now Selenium itself will create a notepad in F drive. Don't check anything in console tab. Nothing to check in console tab. You directly go to F drive in my system, and I asked to create Selenium notepad. Selenium got created. Open that notepad. We can see 3 lines of code will be written in that notepad. Suppose I want to write something from website into notepad. Say for example, if we take our any application, Primus Bank application, I want to write these 2 paragraphs, this paragraph and this paragraph into my notepad. All of you know, when you want to capture any text, all of you know the method is get text method.
Get text.
100%. So let us see how you write that. Okay. This is our general example. Now I'm showing you against application. Okay. Now Yes. Now, for example, writing text. Select your main method, finish of it. Same again. First, we have to ask Selenium to create a new file. So for that, file, control spacebar. What package we should import here? Java.io. Many people, they're confusing and importing second package. It won't work out. Make sure that we want to go with Java. Some variable is equal to new file, control spacebar, and define the path where you want to create. In F drive, primus.txt. Of course, we can specify DOC also. If you want to write in DOC document, we can say extension will change to DOC, excelments.xls. Okay. And now you want to create physical memory for that. So for that, what we use? File writer. File writer, F control spacebar, FW is equal to new file writer. Okay. And where you want write that into F variable. What is F is holding? Path of that file, right? Yes. Now allocate memory for that here. Just allocate memory.
Buffered write.
Yes. Buffered
writer.
Control spacebar. Why I'm always using control spacebar? Control spacebar means when you type a class name, the type misspelling mistakes will be there. Wherever it required capital, you may type small letters. That's the reason I'm asking to go with control spacebar, control spacebar, control spacebar, and also for importing packages. That's very important. Many people, what they're doing, they're typing blindly, manually they're typing by looking the notes or by looking the script, they're typing it and doing mistakes. Use control spacebar when you get some problems. I told you when classes are used, compulsory we have to import package for that class. Okay. So BW is equal to new buffered writer, control spacebar. So where you, for what you're creating that memory? For FW. Next. Now we need to create object for WebDriver. Yes or no? Because we're writing against application WebDriver. Some object driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Okay. Now launch your URL. Driver.get method. Specify your URL. Driver.manage.window.maximize. And now we need to capture this 2 paragraph text and store into respective variables. Let us store them. Let us store the 2 paragraphs.
Get text.
First we had to store into one variable. String.
Yeah.
Para1 is equal to driver dot find element by dot xpath. Xpath value will define it dot get text method. So internal properties always we go with get attribute. All of you know that. Any external properties, values, any visible text you want, we go with get text. That's common, right? Same way, let us get that 2 paragraph text and store into one more variable, paragraph 1, paragraph 2 also. Para 2. Okay. Now right click on this first paragraph, inspect element, go with crop path. And ensure it is highlighting or not. See that paragraph selected, first paragraph. You can choose relative XPath or absolute XPath. It's up to you. I'm selecting relative, no problem. Copy this and paste here. This is for first paragraph. Okay. And second paragraph also, get the XPath of second paragraph. Click on this arrow icon, choose the second paragraph. Now copy this relative. We can write our own XPath that all of you know, so that it's taking, we can write our own XPath also, no problem. Yes. Now what do you want? Now, whatever stored in para 1, para 2, you want write that into notepad, right? So in which variable we have that methods, buffered methods. Buffered methods are stored into BW. Yes or no? BW dot write. You're writing string type, right? You're writing string type. Which one you want write? Paragraph 1.
Para 1.
and I want to go to new line. So BW dot new line.
New line.
2 times I want to go for new line to get more space. New line. And then write second paragraph. BW dot write
para 2.
Para 2. Set the argument which you are defining. String type means string type. And then flush it. BW dot flush. And then close that file. BW dot close that file. Okay. And add your superclass. Throws, throwable. Okay. So let us specify the application URL. And I want to close my browser also. Driver dot close after writing that paragraph. Okay, let us run this. Select the notepad. Handling notepad is also one of the best way. Some situations you may come across in your applications project, in your framework classes. And if anyone
the
willing
same code
to,
is for document, Word document, sir.
yes, ma.
Is it the same code? Okay.
Change that extension.
Yeah, doc.
Right? Go to your F drive, Primus notepad, and we can see that 2 paragraphs have been captured into the notepad. Has been flashed in it, right? If you want documentation DOC, change this DOC and run this. It will be writing that in DOC, but notepad is not very more important for us. Testing team, whether we go with Excel file, 19, not 90, 100, 200%, Excels are very, very important. Okay, notepad, but anyway, see, it will be creating one file for that, Primus DOC, right? Open this in notepad. It has written that 2 paragraph in that. So change that extension.
Okay.
Change that extension. I am taking maximum TXT file, notepad. Okay, na? Okay. Suppose already there is a notepad called Selenium. In this Selenium notepad, I have some line of code. I mean, I have some data. Say, for example, you have number of lines. Not to copy the same line, you can definitely copy. Okay, no problem. I want read line by line from this notepad now. Writing, Selenium will create that file. While reading, file should be existing with you. Am I right or not, all of you guys? When you want to read data from a file, the file should be exist in your system. Am I right or not?
Yes.
So when you're writing data, Selenium will create it. So try to save this again. I'm saving this. Now I want to read line by line from that file. Now let us see how we read data. Read data. Select your main method, finish of it. So again, for file reading, we don't want to go with file class. Directly we can go with what? File reader class. We want to read data from a file. So file reader, control space bar. So the package should be java.io. Make sure that file reader, some variable fr is equal to new file reader, control space bar. No need of typing. And then give the path. It is available in F drive in my system. F drive, Selenium. It is having file name as Selenium. Copy that file name and you provide it. Don't go with my paths. Selenium.txt. And this is physical memory. How do you allocate memory, buffered memory? How can you allocate memory for this file, Selenium.txt file, by using buffered reader. Control space bar. Buffer reader. BR is equal to new buffer reader. For which file you are creating that allocation memory for? FR variable. What do you want? You want it in a specific line or you want it all lines one by one?
Line by line.
Then what to do? You tell me. If I want it specific line, I can directly write that system.out. So and so, no problem. But I want it line by line up to last line. So here I'm declaring one variable to store my data in the notepad data. Str is equal to null. This str is a variable. I want to store whatever data in Notepad, whatever lines of data we have in Notepad. To store this data, I declared object as str. That's it. Okay. Now, as you know that when you want to read line by line up to last line means compulsory, we have to go with looping statement. Compulsory. So here, which loop we should take here? I want read up to last line until my str becomes false. So compulsory we have to go with while statement. Am I right or not? While statement. While, read that line by line in that notepad into str variable. Str is equal to read line by line we use method br dot read line. What that method? Read line method. So what is read line method? This read line method we will read line by line, line by line, line by line and store into which variable? Which variable? Str variable. How long? How long? While reading the data line by line, it should not be equal to null. Yes or no? Am I right or not? So for that, open one more parenthesis here and here close one more parenthesis. Close that parenthesis. Are you understanding why I'm using while statement? I want to keep on reading up to last line. So this str will go on storing the data, line by line data and that notepad until it becomes null. But initially while reading, it should not be null. That's what I taken condition, not equal to null. Okay. Now print that. Print that. What to print here? Where that line by line stored here? It is stored into
str
variable. Str variable. And after that, close that file which you're reading. Br dot close. No need to flush. Why? Because we are not writing it, right? Don't say flush for reading. Only close the file. And add your superclass for this. Throws, throwable. So when you want to perform against application, that also I'll show you one example how you do it in against application. When I run this code, what will happen? It goes on reading. How long? Until str becomes null. So it is reading all the data or not? One by line, line by line, line by line. If you want to read specific line, we can directly, no looping is required. We can directly say br.read line and we can print directly. So like that. So whenever you want to read data, whenever you want to write data in Notepad, especially Notepad, this will be useful for us. For example, let us take against application. Let us take our RNG.
Sir, at first line, why we are declaring string str is equal to null, sir?
What is that? Just what I told you. What I told you. What this str is holding here. Look at here.
It is holding the
line by line data in that
yeah.
notepad. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the reason I declared their variable. That is the reason I declared str variable before looping statement to store the data, notepad data. Okay.
Yes, sir, I got it. But why we are declaring it to the null? Like why we are
initially
making it as null?
Initially it will be anything?
No, nothing.
While reading only, it should store something, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. They can null here. Okay, understood?
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Now I want to store this notepad data, login information in notepad here. Notepad, do you have rows and columns? No, right? I'm storing username as admin. And I want separate password. How you store password here? Anybody? That means I want send my username and password to my application via this notepad. Excel means we have rows and columns. That is different. We'll see that. But suppose in case if you have data in notepad, how you read data, how you test against application, I'm checking. First time you're checking with multiple data. How you store password also. This is to send for username text box. And I want send for password text box also. Then how you store that password? Will you store below that or after that password, username?
Below the username.
Below username. Huh? This will be username. The next will be password. Huh? So beside that, we need to store. How you store? Here we don't have rows and columns. Excel means we can take headers, 2 columns. Here no columns and rows. So for that, what you do guys, you have to use separator. We call delimiters. Any special characters we have in the keyboard, you can use as a separator. Separate username, separate password. I am separating with semicolon. Use anything, it's up to you. I'm defining my password. QH123. This is my password. So that it's a separator. We are separating username and we are separating password. Why you are separating means because we want to send separately into username text box and we have to send password into password text box separately. If I don't separate, what will happen? It will enter everything into username text box. Like that. One I want to check with the valid username and I want to check with the valid username again. Semicolon. Don't go with different separator. Go with same separator. I'm giving invalid password. I want to check with multiple data, not single data. Again, valid username, valid password. Again, next, again, I want to go with the invalid username. Anything, you can take anything. Invalid username, invalid password. Next, again, valid username and valid password. Next time, again, I want to take invalid username and invalid password. Whatever you want, you can take multiple data. We can store like this. Make sure that you're defining same separator. Don't use different separators. Okay? We are separating what? Username and password. Okay. You know that you are separating username and password. How Selenium knows that you are separating that username and password? How Selenium has to send this into this username into username text box? How Selenium has to send that password into password text box? How you should send that password into password text box? What to do? We have to use one function in Java.
We have to tell the Selenium that we are separating the username and password with the semicolon or whatever we are using as a separator.
Contains.
So we need to split this into array variable. Store this into array collection. Better kada? How to split this into array variable means by using split function. If you split them into array, you know all of you. Username collection, it will be storing in collection. Array means array collection. Username will have index number 0, password will have index number 1. So with the help of that index number, we can enter that. That's how we have to plan now. We have to split this into what we should split that notepad data into array variable. What delimiter we are using here? Semicolon. With that semicolon. Yes, with that semicolon, we have to split into array variable. So store this data into array variable, array collection. And with help of that collection, we can input the data. Okay, let's see how we do that against application. But you have to prepare a data like this in notepad. Save this notepad. Save into some drive. I'm saving into F drive. Wherever you want, you can save. F drive, I'm saving as login data. Okay, login data. Okay, yes, done. Now go to your Eclipse, create one Java class. Okay, so I'm giving my class name as notepad pad data class name. Okay, select your main method, finish off it. First, let us reading file reader control space bar some fr is equal to
new file reader.
So we have to define that path f drive colon login data dot txt notepad, right? Yes, I saved as login. Don't follow my paths. Okay, how you saved in your system, go with that paths, all of you. Allocate memory for that buffer reader control space bar br is equal to new buffer reader control space.
For file reader.
Which one?
FR.
Next, we need to, I'm declaring, as I told you, we are declaring to store str string. I want to store that notepad data, right, into one variable. I'm storing into str is equal to, you can say null or double quotation. No, leave it blank. Nothing will be stored initially, declaring only. Okay. Now launch your browser.
Driver.
Web driver. Some variable driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Chrome driver. Now in that
driver.get driver.get launch URL.
But launching URL should be written in looping statements. Why? Because we want to launch URL for number of iterations. We are checking not with single iteration. We are going with multiple iterations. Number of times should go on checking it. So we have to write in looping statement. Okay. First, take a loop while 100%. We have to go with while statement until a condition becomes while. Store that notepad data. This line of statement, admin username and password into that variable we declared str is equal to br dot read line by line, which should not be equal to null. And before that, you have to use open braces here and close your braces here. Okay, na? Do you understand what is str is holding? What is str is holding? str is holding the test data
from notepad.
Line by line data has been stored into str variable. Now, if I want to enter username, this username into this username, not password, username into username text box. I want to enter password into password text box. Not me, Selenium. So for that, what we should do? Split notepad data into array variable. Okay, we have to split them into array variable. Split that array variable. Split that notepad. Where that notepad data stored in our example? Mahabalipurama. No. Where your data stored here? Look at that. Where our notepad data stored? str. Right. Split it. Split into array. Array means array is also string type. String. I'm splitting into array variable. I'm giving my array variable as login. I want to split that str into login array variable collection. Array means single square bracket is equal to split that str dot split regular expression. Which one you want to split in that notepad? Semicolons.
Username. Okay.
You want split with semicolon, that username. That means it will split that into array variable. Username into 0 index number, password into 1. This is a collection now. All of you know array variable is nothing but collection, which will hold your collection values. Collection means which start from 0, index number start from 0. So whatever str is holding, 2 lines or 3 lines or whatever the data, that will be stored into array variable. Now, this data, whatever splitted into array variable, this array variable, now I want to launch my URL driver.get method. Are you understanding, all of you guys? Maximize it, driver.manage.window.maximize. What happens if you don't split? Anybody? If I don't split this str into array variable, what will happen?
It will take the entire thing as a username.
It will enter this line statement, first line statement into your username text box. You will come and split here. No, so before entering that, we are splitting into array variable. And one more thing, what delimiter we are using, with what you are separating, you have to split with that delimiter, your regular express. That's very important. Don't confuse. Okay. Now enter username, driver dot find element by dot name locator, name value dot send keys. Tell me any one username. I don't know. Tell me any one username here.
Admin.
Admina? You must
Yes.
give an admin in capitals without capitals.
Like
Some
password.
login. Somebody says login. Login.
Admin.
Admin or login? Here? Very
Admin.
confused. Somebody
Admin.
says login. Who is that? Login. Rectify now. Is it login or admin?
Admin.
Admin. Still somebody is saying login again. Admin. That already stored in Notepad. Now Selenium should pick up this data. I don't want to give admin. That's what whichever I want send my data to my application that I already stored in Notepad. And this Notepad has been splitted into array variable. Now that is stored into which variable? Login array variable. Login. Yes or no? Login of 0. Do you understand, all of you? No admin here. We are already storing data in Notepad. Selenium will access data from Notepad. Multiple. See, first time we're doing with multiple set of data. If you go with Excel, no problem, because rows and columns, very good, interesting concept, will do it in Excel. Do you understand, all of you? Huh? Why I'm defining login 0 here? Why I'm defining login 0? Because that login username has been stored into 0 index number. Password has been stored into 1 index number. Why?
1.
Because that is split it here. We split it into array variable. This is our array variable. Login is our array variable, which is holding collection. Do you understand? Name, same again. Password also. Driver dot find element by dot name locator. I want define name value again. Dot send keys.
Login of 1.
Login of
1.
login of 1. Login of 1. Why you're defining 1?
Takes the first position,
Second position.
index value
Password.
1.
Yes.
Yeah,
First position. Second position is password only, right?
Password.
And then we want click on login button. Driver dot find element by dot name value
Dot click.
dot click. Suspend tool for few seconds for your observation, no problem. Thread dot sleep for about 5000 milliseconds. We need to suspend. Okay, now? Right. If it is like this condition, we have to give a condition. What is my condition? All of you know, we tested it manually. When you enter valid username and valid password, URL contains dashboard text. Do you remember that? If that URL contains dashboard, login is success. Otherwise, when you give any invalid username, invalid password, we get error message here. We need to capture that error message. Okay? We have to give a condition. Store which you are validating, string expected. Do you remember that? Expected is equal to what is that expected URL? Lastly, dash board. When we get this dashboard text here, if you enter
username and password is
passwords
correct.
are both are valid. End of it, we get dashboard text here, right?
Dashboard.
If the URL contains dashboard text, then get that complete URL and store into one variable here. Get that complete URL, store into actual variable. How to get complete URL? All of you know that. Come on. Driver dot
Get current URL.
Current URL. Condition. What that condition? If
expected.
Actual dot contains what? Contains expected. Then you can say system dot out dot. You can say here login success. I want to print that both expected to my console tab. Print it, no problem. I want to print my expected variable value plus some blank space. I want to print my actual variable also. Actual. Print for your understanding in console tab so that it will be easy for you because you are not testing it. Selenium. Else. Get that error message. Get error message whenever it is fail. Anything we give invalid. Come on. String error message stored into one variable. Message is equal to locate the driver dot find element by dot id value dot get text method. Okay. So whenever you get this error message, right click on it. Be the error page, error message, right click on it, inspect element. We get ID value maybe so.
ID.
ID span message, span message. Copy that and paste here. And locate for username and password also. With the name locator, name locator, right? Inspect correctly. That's what see. Don't select. We have to select the complete text box. Name is equal to txt username. This is for locating username text box. Next, we need to locate for password. Name is equal to txt password. And next, login button. Name is equal to submit. Copy that and paste here. Okay, na? Yes, let us provide URL. And for every iteration, I want to keep on closing my browser. Otherwise, because it's how many times it's going to test? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It goes on checking your login function with positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, 8 times it's going to execute. Yes or no? So for every iteration, I want to keep on closing my browser. Otherwise, it will open number of browsers in looping statement within the loop. Within the loop. Don't write after the loop. If you write after the loop, it will close only for last iteration, right? After every iteration, I want to keep on closing my browser. Driver dot close my browser. Okay, within the loop. Don't write outside of the loop. And if you want to wait for a few seconds before closing, wait, no problem. I won't wait for 2000 milliseconds before closing, no problem. Okay, and add your super class for this.
Class.
Throws, throwable. Same thing we'll do in Excel sheet also. That is different. But when you have a chance to handle files, we can handle like this. Let's see what happens. Now from where it's going to pick up data here, this login functionality, from where Selenium will pick up data?
From Notepad.
Yes, from Notepad. So that split it or not? It got username splitted separately, password got splitted separately. It will verify your condition. Waiting for 5 seconds, close the browser. Again, login success. Again, second iteration. Sorry, something going wrong. I think we are closing session in the else part, right? We have to close here, not there. Okay. Again, go for second iteration. There we give invalid username. Again, it goes on how many iterations performance, how many rows you have taken, how many iterations you have taken Notepad, it goes on executing. This is how we check with multiple data. Notepad, not meant, but Excel is very important. So it is splitting the data and inputting data. Wherever we give invalid, it will be splitting. So it will be capturing this error message also, don't worry. Write that close after loop here, don't write inside loop. Okay, write it after the loop statement. Driver.close. It's going on checking with multiple data from where it's picking data from Notepad. Done. Okay, all iteration be done. See that. So what is that? First one is success. Login success. It has written. Why written as success for everything? No rack pada that last. System.out.println print message. We stored it when we are not printing it, right? Some plus some blank space I want plus Write this expected and actual also. Any test data you want to change, where you modify it? Any test data you want to change, I want to enter some other different values, means what you where you will change? Open the notepad. Okay, open the notepad and modify. Because Selenium is picking data from notepad now, not generally. We are writing hard code every time, right? So this what? Now now it will write for everything, which is pass, which is spell again. So this is one way of doing with notepad here. Okay, na? But Excel is very, very important. Excel will start in TestNG. If I discuss now, you'll forget everything I know. Before I start framework, I need to start TestNG. How to use TestNG, how to implement TestNG. Tomorrow is, what is tomorrow here? Friday? Is Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday, you don't have class tomorrow because for 7 o'clock people, I want some topic left over. I'll take you Friday and Saturday. Friday possible. Okay. Friday we have class. Tomorrow you don't have. Only your batch people. Please complete that remaining concepts. Okay. This week. Next week we'll have Sundays also. Saturdays also I'll take up. Some pending left over for them. Yeah. Okay. Please cooperate for that.
Ranga, I have one doubt. Like, you know, right? In applications, we'll upload the attachment and download the attachment.
Wait,
in that
we'll
case,
discuss.
how to test?
Yes, wait. We'll discuss. Wait here.
Okay. No, in general, is there any special method to upload and download the
You have to use some tools here. Auto 82. Who is that?
This is Sai.
Sai. Yes. We have to go with Auto 8. Robot class. Robot class we discussed. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Robot, just right click mouse in class we discussed. Do you remember that?
Yes, for Gmail.
That I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you. I need to discuss separately that topic, how to upload, download file.
Okay.
You are 8:30 batch, Sai. I think you are continuing this batch also, right? 8 o'clock, Sai? Or is separate different Sai? See that. Dashboard success. First one is valid, success. Second one is invalid here. Invalid credentials we have, so that it's not validating. Like that, it takes all the data here. Okay, na? Okay. It will validate everything accordingly. Like that, we have to check. But make sure that you are maintaining this notepad perfectly. And please complete whatever pending topics we have, guys, tomorrow. Because you have holiday tomorrow. I have some other batch I'm taking from 2 hours, 3 hours class for them. That's the reason. Please, I hope you will complete it. Tomorrow is Friday, Thursday, kada? Okay. I won't take some special class for them. And if you have any people, if you are, see, are you understanding me, all of you guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
If you have any friends, if you are satisfying, you can refer me tomorrow batch. Tomorrow I have a new batch at 7:30 evening, 7 p.m. And if you are interested to join only Selenium OJT project, Selenium, only Selenium OJT, tomorrow we have at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Tomorrow we have demo, 5 p.m. If you're interested, you can join that OJT. Means we are going to Selenium project in that OJT, ERP.
What do you mean by OJT? No,
On-job training. On-job training. We'll discuss frameworks and we'll use one project for that and we'll discuss against that project. How to write frameworks especially.
I mean like Cucumber. You'll use Cucumber there?
Not Cucumber. Cucumber plus hybrid framework, keyword data-driven framework, everything. We'll discuss all the frameworks maximum.
Okay, it's kind of project. You'll discuss one complete project.
Yeah. Okay. If you have any friends, you can recommend tomorrow at 7:30, new batch, manual plus Selenium OJT. If you're willing to join, you can join that batch also. Evening 7 o'clock, 7:30, sorry, 7:30, manual plus Selenium OJT. Means OJT means project. We are going to discuss project here. First, we'll go with manual and then we'll go for Selenium later on. If you guys are interested, you can join. Anyway, you're done with manual testing, right? There we'll discuss against project. We'll assign tasks to you guys and we'll work out how we work in your companies and all that. Okay. Right. But if we don't have class tomorrow for you, only tomorrow, day after tomorrow, don't miss that. Okay. We'll start test engine to day after tomorrow, and also installation of test engine. Then we'll work out a lot of things, reports, lot of very interesting concepts from now. Don't miss them, please. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine.
Yes, thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
See you guys.